So thank you, Ethan.
No problem.
We just finished filming this, and now it's time to discover if my assumptions on whether or not this is South Korea making a Mustang. The driving position right here is exactly the same as an SN95, which makes it weird. Nick's used to, because he drives an SN95. I don't, and I find myself down and slouching.
There's a lot of that in this car.
Down and
You'll find
slouching?
you're slouching a lot, yeah. Especially once you try to adjust the rear view mirror.
Yeah?
Yep. It constantly points a little bit too far down, and it won't let you adjust it high enough.
Huh. Odd.
Definitely.
Well, we've got 6 gears. It feels vaguely... Oh, wait, that's not reverse. Reverse is...
Just push hard.
A slammo.
Yep.
And then you're up there. Cool.
Down.
I expect it to be there, and it's there. So, in light of their... You know, I wonder if this is the same setup here, these 3 gauges from a Veloster, that normally it would be boost and something else.
And they decided to put torque there instead?
Yeah. I get fuel economy, which is gauge, which is nice, I guess.
It's okay. Of course, there's also fuel economy there for the entire tank.
Torque, why do I need to know? That had to be a boost gauge and something else.
It must have been, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Where's it gonna grab? Ooh. All right.
Lower than you expected?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Clutch is a little weird in this car.
Sorry about that.
Oh, you're good.
All right. Does respond well. I'm sure you told Nick the numbers, but how much horsepower am I working with?
About 350.
350?
Yes.
All right. What does the S6 engine in Nick's Mustang make? What was that rated for? It's like 190 or something. So I got 300 horsepower and rear-wheel drive and a limited slip diff. Hell yeah. All right, I like this. I like it. 350.
According to Hyundai.
According to Hyundai. Well, all right. That torque, I don't even want to look at that. Like, what is that
There's
telling me?
useful there.
Yeah. All right, so to put that in perspective, 350 horsepower at a 3.6 liter V6. Does it want 91 or 93 octane?
I believe minimum is 91, but I always use 93.
Okay. The old modulars, what did they make? 250?
I couldn't even tell you.
Yeah. I think the wow, that is a grabby clutch.
Yes, it is.
That's gonna take a while for me to do smoothly.
It took a while for me to get used to too.
You know what it feels like? It feels like a weirdly set up Subaru, because that's what you're coming off of is an STI.
This was much easier than the STI was, though. In my opinion, it's much easier to drive.
You know what? You're right, because you figure Hyundai. What's going to be crazy about that? And then it takes you by surprise. But STI, you're like feathering it.
You're expecting it to grab hard.
Is traction control on? Because I want it on.
It is on now.
Okay.
If you want to turn it off.
No.
Okay. Won't even tell you that.
Gosh, that is good, man.
It's not bad.
I was gonna be ambivalent about this, but it's all right. Oh, there's where it fought me. I went for full throttle in the middle of that turn. It chopped immediately.
The traction control is very intrusive in this car. That's why I kind of recommended that you turn it off if you're comfortable with that.
I'm gonna see if it'll do that again. God, this is good up top. All right. right, I haven't driven the Veloster N, but I think this is going to be better. This also tests your suspension, which is good. Recently, there was a, and I can say this because it's already scheduled, there was a Porsche 911 that we drove up that, and it scraped on those bumps. Oh, wow. This doesn't. So this has an advantage over a 991.2 with all-wheel drive and twin turbos on bumpy Pennsylvania roads like this, because you got more ground clearance and more suspension travel. Yeah. 350 horsepower. Man, this is a bit of all right.
Yeah, people say it feels a little underpowered for 350, but and maybe it is a little bit, but it feels good to me.
Do I press and hold?
Yes.
Or is I just press?
Press and hold for 3 seconds. It'll make a sound. There you go.
All right. Stability thing off. Yeah, synchros are a bit weird. Will it let me blip? It's a bit of a... It doesn't blip exactly at the same time that I press the accelerator. Now, it'll probably take some getting used to. You anticipate that delay.
The transmission is the biggest drawback of this car, in my opinion. Though.
Yeah.
It feels weird to shift, especially between gears 1 through 3. It feels a little bit like you're grinding gears.
I didn't see when I put the camera underneath any sort of active exhaust. I think that's just how it sounds.
Yep.
That's good. I don't mind a tinny V6 if that's how it sounds, but oh man, it delivers, man.
Yeah, I'm not usually too big on how V6s sound, but this sounds pretty good for a V6.
I mean, my initial impressions is that this is like Honda Accord 6MT good. I mean, you have 6 gears. The Honda Accord is going to have a better interior. It is comfortable. This is a little bit boy racer, but it is rear wheel drive, which means well, it gets away from you.
It will, yeah.
Whoa. All right, that's why they want that traction control on there. That was funny. Oh, windshield wipers. Thank you. That was gravel. I mean, we weren't burning rubber. That's wet gravel after it rained all yesterday. But this car's getting better. This car's getting better and better, man. Okay, I'm gonna turn that back on because now we're gonna descend a hill.
Probably safe.
Yeah. Man, this is fun. I am enjoying this. Heck, 6 speeds and a rear-wheel drive and unlimited slip and 350 horsepower. Exactly what are you complaining about here? I guess people would... Does this car predate when they tried to make Genesis its own make?
Yes. I believe the first year for this was either 2008 or 2009. I can't remember when the Genesis brand was started, but it was definitely after that.
Okay. Average fuel economy, 20 miles per gallon.
That's mostly highway though.
Really?
My commute to work, I typically get around 16.
16.
Yes.
All right, so this is
that's close to city driving though.
This is a thirsty vehicle then.
Yes, definitely.
Versus the Honda Accord 6MT will get 34 miles to gallon on the highway.
Oh wow, yeah, that's much better.
With a V6, and it runs on 87 octane.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely
so
better.
It's probably down to gearing, and it also has an eco mode. Now it's probably going to chop my... let me spun a little bit right there. But it bucks. It's a genuine sports car.
Yep.
There's my 6th gear. So what's my fuel economy right now? That's a long... that thing moves all over the place.
Yeah, it's not very useful.
going about 50 miles an hour, turning below 2,000 RPM, but I'm hearing a buzz coming from somewhere.
That could be the shifter. That rattles for some reason. There's definitely the shifter definitely makes an annoying rattle at certain speeds, though, even if it isn't really loud.
Is that your sunglasses? Is it that trim piece that's missing up there? I hear that plastic on plastic sound.
Yeah, I hear it too.
Yeah.
Not sure where it's coming from.
That reminds me of the sound that would come from my Honda Fit when I owned it, which is not typical of Honda, but the mid 2000s was definitely Honda's senioritis period. Don't stall it! Don't stall it! It pulls, man.
Yeah, it's all good.
What's Mr. Jeep doing? We're getting a bit of that pillarless door whistle. So that's a thing. Or is it the, this? Well, we're not gonna know right now. So we're coming to a stop. That mirror controls is kind of odd, but the whole door is just flush here, so what are you gonna do? They just put it where they could.
Yeah. Yeah, it is in an odd position, though.
Yeah. Don't stall it, don't stall it. Green. 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 Yeah, the move seems to just take it easy in first, and then just second is your go gear. Third's a good go gear as well. Okay, it's not my mirror that's doing that. I think the big clincher now with whether you should buy a Hyundai Genesis RSpec,
yes, is
price point. So where do you think this car sits in comparison in affordability to your to I guess what would you compare this to? Well, we're comparing it to Mustangs, a V6 Mustang, and to that I think the V6 Mustang is like 300 horsepower, but it may be geared a bit taller, not sure. But it's pulling the hill in 6th gear.
Oh, really? 6th? Wow.
Yeah.
I never tried to pull in 6th.
Well, it's taking it. It's claiming 150. Oh, that torque thing is moving around all over the place.
Yeah, that's not very useful.
So we were going 60, there's 65 miles an hour, turning 2,000, and okay, that's where the Honda 6MT differs. At 65 miles an hour, that's like 1,500 RPM.
Oh,
that's
wow.
where that's geared. This is 1,000 more, so
the Honda's going to be better on the highway.
yeah, it's going to just lope along, which is weird because I think the engines are about the same displacement.
What's the displacement of the Honda?
I can't remember. It's 3 something. Or people will correct me. The Honda Accord that I drove.
They always do.
It is a physically larger car. Because all it is a 2-door, 4-door. I'm gonna take this. Don't scrape. Sorry about that bump. Do you normally? Oh yeah, you keep the lights on auto.
Yeah.
How was your entrance into our parking lot here? That's
a little hard.
A little hard?
Take it a little slow, yeah.
Okay. Normally, sometimes I rip it up here, but we got people coming in for classes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really busy for a Sunday.
this is a very enjoyable car. There are some interior fit and fitment issues, like that noise that I can't track down.
Yeah.
The clutch is strange, but you'd get used to that. Gas mileage is, it's a bit thirsty. It's not going to break the bank, but an SN95 Mustang is more fuel efficient than this thing. But that also comes down to this engine just being wired, and it's geared pretty low. I like that it's not making any fake sounds. This is just how the V6 sounds.
Yep.
Driving position is a little low. It could use some lumbar, even though, you know, it's more of a youthful car, but I really could use like 3 inches of lumbar here.
Yeah,
for me at my age. These are goofy and silly.
Yeah. They're just for looks.
Shifter's great. The shape is fantastic. Rear visibility is, I didn't even look. It's a thing. It's a coupe. What do you want?
Not terrible for...
No, I've seen worse.
Yeah.
You know, like...
It's also not the best either, though.
Hmm. This is gonna definitely come down to the price point. Did you talk price point with Nick?
No.
Okay. Do you feel like it?
Sure.
Okay.
What did I pay for, you mean?
You don't have to say that, because, you know, that's a thing about car guys. I'm half talking to the camera. You never ask how much anybody paid for anything.
I mean,
but ballpark it. Do you feel like it?
I mean, I don't mind sharing it.
Okay.
I paid $16,000 for it.
Okay.
New, it's roughly $30,000.
$16,000 is way cheaper than what people are asking for Honda Accord 6MTs, which is hovering, like later ones, like the one I drove, they're still $20,000 new.
Okay.
So this is and maybe even play your cards right, you get one of these for $15,000, and you have a wonderful little everyday sport coupe that will break the tires loose, and it's faster. Yeah, it just makes, if the horsepower number's true, 350, the Honda Accord 6MT is 275,
okay,
or around there. So it's light, it's powerful, and it's affordable. So yeah, man. I mean, I'm older, so I see the Hyundai badge and think cheap Honda, but I'm sure this is going to be way more reliable than anything from the 90s. And since blah blah manual's going away, blah blah rear wheel drive, quit your complaining. Here's one, and it's affordable for everybody. The door. Oh, it's that sign. Yeah. Well, thank you, Ethan. This was a very enjoyable car. I think I'm going to start recommending this in streams.
Oh, I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah.